Masai is the Executive Manager of Value Chain Competitiveness at Productivity SA. He joins us now. Mr. Masai, thank you very much indeed for coming in. All right, so no doubt this report will be closely watched by investors, looking at what our productivity levels are in this country. Essentially, what is this report telling us about how we are producing? Is it a good or bad picture?
Well, for the past year and the past quarter, it surely tells us that we need to do a bit more, better than we've been doing. But it shows us that there is capacity to do that, because there's lots of investment in capital that has already been put in, but there's no concomitant output in terms of capital productivity and utilizing your labor productivity to be able to get to realize the broad good levels of productivity.
Yeah, you look at some of the reports internationally that were released recently. We've not had an impressive score on the competitiveness report from the World Economic Forum, for example. I mean, our performance in the area of pay and productivity, we rank 136 out of 144. Does that suggest that, generally speaking, we want the pay, but we're not willing to produce in this country?
I think that's a message which we have to take. However, we have to interpret that message to say, in terms of the actual relationship at the plant level, what is it that we're doing well and what is it that we're not doing well? And over the past year or 2 years from 2012, it's very clear that at plant level there has been a bit of acrimony and not a good relationship. Therefore, you find slacking in terms of productivity. So the message is clear. It's to say, get your house in order and basically focus on producing so that you earn your keep, so to speak.
But we need to see those solutions becoming more and more visible.
Absolutely.
I mean, we have these reports telling us exactly that. Let me mention another stat from the same report. We are at the bottom place, 144 out of 144 countries when it comes to the cooperation in labor-employer relations. I mean, you've just mentioned it.
Yes.
What is the report suggesting to us? Why are we sort of stagnated at that place? And where's the solutions to this?
I think the most important thing is really to work on the trust relationship, what I normally call a social capital. Build that, because the sooner we all realize, labor and management, and not only management, but also labor, realize that it's important to participate in a positive way in a workplace and relate more positively between ourselves as labor and management, the better, because then we'll focus on outputs and getting more of the services out there and competing in the international community.
Oh, all right. We've still got a long way to go in that regard, but let's talk about some of the positives in the report. The agricultural sector, I see, was highlighted as an achiever.
Absolutely.
Does that mean that workers in that sector produce more compared to the other sectors? Because as we spoke off air, I've also noticed that the output in these sectors do not necessarily measure the productivity. So talk to us about the agricultural sector. Why has it done well?
True. I think there's also a lagging effect, Devin, in terms of the investment that goes into the sectors, in terms of capital investment. So agriculture has been investing in capital for a long period, and they now beginning to realize the benefits of that investment after a 3-year period. Normally, when you invest in capital, it would take you up to 3 to 5 years to start realizing the output. But we must also begin to say, what is it that we can learn from agriculture, which other sectors can come, take and implement, so that they can also realize the same outputs. Because in other sectors, as you may have noticed, most of the sectors, it's really marginal and a mixed bag. And it's not what we want as a country, because we want to ratchet up the real output from the 1.9 that we're sitting at now to, there's a figure of 6 to 10%. That is a consensus figure that everyone is agreeing on for us to be able to create employment, to reduce poverty, and to be able to deal with the issues of reducing the gap of inequality.
All right, I'm going to have to leave it there. Selo Masai from Productivity SA. Thanks very much indeed for talking to us.
Beautiful. Thank you.